Digging was a time-honored tradition for the Drugvar. Their young were given a shovel for celebration of their first solar revolution, a pickaxe for their third. Disputes were settled by digging holes, contests won by excavating quarries. So when the Terrans claimed a newly discovered star system at nearly the same time as the Drugvar, the reasonable response was to propose a contest, where the winner gets rights to settle the system. The Terrans, apparently glad to have avoided a pointless war, asked for the rules. What was transmitted was simple. The innermost planet in the system was chosen as the contest grounds, due to the entire planet being solid. Both species would start on the equator, approximately 90 degrees apart. The objective was to dig. The winner would be the species that displayed the most material from below ground level. The contest would last one solar revolution. It would be easy, the Drugvar High Council reasoned. Terrans were not regarded as highly in the galactic mining community. Drugvar had thousands of years of digging experience, and advanced machines made specifically for mining, digging, and other displacement-related activities. There was no foreseeable reason to lose this contest. And so the start date arrived. Machines were deployed, pickaxes were swung, and any old grudges still held were buried in the joy of digging. By the halfway mark, the Drugvar hull was about 75% of the way to the planet's core. The Drugvar Chief Supervisor was pleased as he descended into the seemingly endless depths. Yes, some machines had been ruined by solar activity. Those were acceptable losses. Yes, some of his people have overtaxed themselves and died. They will be hailed as heroes. What mattered now was the whole. The contest was almost over. Just a few more planetary revolutions to go, and he could almost taste victory. As he stood on the planet's core, a massive ball of pure titanium, he began to weep. Tears ran from his face, both proud of his people to have come this far, and sad that this was likely their pinnacle of success, as the Terrans would say. It didn't last long, though, before he felt a shift. Then another, larger jolt. A third came shortly after, and the Chief Supervisor was left hanging by his safety harness over a massive void. Once he was safely returned to the surface, his first order of business was to visit the Terran excavation. What he saw as he approached was beyond anything he could believe. The core was being broken down and loaded onto ships. The Terrans had managed to dig a hole deep enough, and wide enough, to hollow the planet. He was met by his Terran counterpart, and they camped near the edge of the excavation. The human female congratulated him on a hard-fought contest. The Chief Supervisor asked how such a feat had been accomplished. "Well," the human began, "our forces were hard-pressed at first to even compare to your progress. We put the word out that assistance was required, and 3 Terran communities answered the call. Ancient groups were quite dedicated. Anyway, we put on some music, handed them the tools, and the result is what you see today." "Music? You mean the constant ripping sound outside?" The Chief Supervisor listened to what had seemed to be unproductive noise as the human nodded. There were words repeated again and again. He began to understand the message of the music. "I am a dwarf, and I'm digging a hole." "This music led your people to victory?" he asked. "Rock and stone," was the only response.